Hi there, welcome to part 2 of working with English leaf lace from a chart. This is the second in 2 videos that's intended to demonstrate not just how to make this specific lace, but how to become more familiar and more confident working with charts. In the first video, we just worked through one of these lace motifs. So if you're a little uncertain, or if you've just found this video and you're a little uncertain about how to work from a chart, you might want to go back and start that video first. But if you're ready to go on, so am I. We're going to take that basic leaf motif and make an all-over lace pattern. It starts with a singular leaf, and then we build out to where we have 1, 2, 3, 5, and then start decreasing. Or, once you're familiar with the chart and how to use it, you can keep increasing, which I tried to demonstrate with this piece because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leaves across. And of course it could be 9, 11, and so on. This is a flat piece, obviously, so it has wrong side rows and right side rows. In the chart, you'll notice that the even numbered rows are wrong side, the odd numbered rows are right side. For our increase part, every right side row starts and ends with a purl front and back. That's how it increases out. And on the as we're moving towards the point, every right side row starts and ends with a purl 2 together. That's how we decrease off all our leaves. So let's get started by casting on 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Now you might want to have a few stitch markers handy. I like stitch markers. They keep me from having to count too much. We've got, in this piece, we've got knits and purls, obviously. We have yarn overs to make our little pretty openings. We have slip knits on this side of the leaf. Knit 2 togethers on this side of the leaf. Each leaf ends with a centered double decrease. And then we have our purl front and backs and our purl 2 togethers. And those are the stitches that you need to be comfortable with to make this lace. So let's start with the first row, which is row 0, kind of like a setup row, and it's a wrong side. So we have a dotted box on a wrong side, which means that we knit the first one, purl the middle, and knit the last. Okay. Here we go. Starting with 3. Now our first stitch is a purl front and back. Then we're going to have a yarn over, a knit, a yarn over, and a purl front and back. Purl front. Let's see, get that in focus. Purl the back. Now we need to yarn, we're at the purl position obviously, and we need to yarn over, and the stitch right after that is a knit. So I'm doing this as with the working yarn in my right hand to show you that some of these yarn overs can be a little tricky. When you have a purl, you need to yarn over and then make a knit. You just knit, starting with the yarn in that purl position, and you get the yarn over and the knit all in one move. Now we have a knit, and we need to go into a purl front and back. So you bring the yarn forward, around, and bring the yarn forward again, kind of like wrapping the right tip, and then we purl the front, purl the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches, and onto row 2. This is a wrong side row, and I've got 2 dotted boxes. I'm going to knit one, and you certainly don't have to, but this is where I like to add a stitch marker, because everything from this stitch marker on this side will be a new leaf. Now help me keep track. Knit the second, purl 3, knit. I'm going to knit 2, but I'm going to knit 1, set a stitch marker, and then knit the last. So my stitch markers are going to designate, between each stitch marker will be a leaf. Like I said, it's not obligatory, but for me it's a lot easier this way. We're on a right side row. We're going to start with a purl front and back. Slip that marker. Purl the next one. Knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, purl, slip in my marker, and then in with the purl front and back. So that's row 3. I'm going to work row 4, and hopefully you will too. Okay, here we are, row 5. Start with a purl front and back. Yarn over, and end with a purl front and back. Okay, so notice at the end of row 5 we've got our middle leaf going, and it's going, yay. But on the sides we've worked our way up to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That means we're ready to start new leaves on these edges. So for row 6, start with a knit 1, purl, knit, which was the first row we worked at the base of this leaf. And that's what I mean by each of these leaves fit together like puzzle pieces, and that's how you get the all over lace. Purl through the middle of the center leaf. Knit, slip the marker. I'm going to knit 1, purl 1, and knit 1, and that will get me set up on this edge leaf. Now we're on row 7. Row 7, we're going to be increasing out these side leaves and doing the decreases on the center leaf. Don't forget, purl front and back. Now, remember, this is where we have purls followed by knits and a yarn over in between. If you just leave your working yarn, you know, if you have your working yarn in your left hand, all yarn overs are always the same. They're just yarn over, yarn over. But for continental knitters, yarn overs can be different depending on your preceding and following stitch. And that's the only point I'm trying to make there. So we're working on our middle leaf here. Purl that first stitch, and then we're going to slip, slip, and knit. Knit the next 3. Followed by a knit 2 together and a purl. Alright, let me switch back to Continental Knitting so I can demonstrate that one more time. Oops. We're going to purl the first stitch. To get a yarn over and knit the next one, we're just going to leave the yarn right where it is. Knit. Now we need a yarn over followed by a purl front and back. Bring the yarn forward, wrap, bring the yarn forward again, purl the front and purl the back. I think you can see it building out. Okay. I'm going to knit 1 and set another marker. I don't know if you know this about me, but I love stitch markers. I think they make your life easier, especially when it comes to lace. I'm at the end of this row where I have 2 knits, but I'm going to knit 1, slip a marker, and then knit the last. Okay. I'm going to keep working this pattern and skip ahead, but obviously I'm going to do purl front and back and a purl front and back. This leaf is in increase, and so is this one, and the middle leaf is in decrease. So I'll work through this and meet you at the end. Hopefully you can see this leaf forming up. And these other leaves are just getting started. Okay, here I am on row 11. This is the end of this first leaf motif, and it's going to need a center double decrease. But first, of course, I got to start on my edges. Purl front and back. And here we are. Just wanted to show you what I mean. There's different double decreases, and this is one that will give you a nice centered point. Take the next 2 stitches, slip them knitwise together so that they're slipped and twisted. Knit the next stitch, and then pull those slip stitches up and over, kind of like a bind off, like that. So that's the end of row 11. It would be followed by row 12. Row 12 will see me beginning a new leaf here, and also on the very edge sections. Aha. So you'll notice, if you're into shaping, and I am, and I do love the math of knitting, that as these leaves reach their narrowest point, that's where these leaves are at their widest point. Yeah. Here I am, and this would be row 13. Now, notice in our chart that I'm working with, there are no more purl front and backs. That's because I've decided to make this one just 5 leaves wise. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But if you wanted to make it, as I mentioned in the beginning, if you want to make it wider, if you want it to be 7 and so on, then you just keep on with the purl front and backs. I would keep on adding my stitch markers, if it was me, and make it as wide as you want. Use this chart to create a piece to the size of your liking. This is my liking. So no more, for me, no more purl front and backs. I'm just going to work the next set of rows even and create this middle set of leaves. And once I get done with that, we'll start the decreases. So I'm going to keep working, and once I get to where I need to purl two together on my edges to form my diamond shape, I'll turn the video back on. Okay, so here's the first 24 rows of that chart. I need to start row 25. To make the diamond shape like that on row 25, after I've finished this leaf and they've come to their points here and here, here and here, I need to decrease on my edges. If I wanted it to continue and go straight and make something like a scarf or a table runner, then you just keep stacking leaves on top of leaves. If you want the diamond shape, we've got to do our decreases. And in this pattern, the edge decreases that I'm using are purl two together and purl two together on the edges. Just like we made the increases here, we're going to make these decreases on each edge of every right side row. Otherwise, you just continue working on your pattern. Eliminate these stitches, these, and these, and once you've worked back to you only have 3 stitches left in the middle, you bind off. So, I'm going to do all that, and so are you, right? Right. And we'll meet each other at the other end of this thing. Well, here I am, on row 35, I think. Not much left. Purl 2 together, center double decrease, purl 2 together. And as you can see, I've worked off all my stitch markers. Center double decrease. Slip 2 together knitwise, knit 1 stitch, pull those 2 slip stitches up and over, and purl 2 together. And my row 36. I don't know how it is in your knitting world, but for me, when I get down to that last row, I'm always so excited to be done. I have to concentrate, make myself knit the very last little row. And then you can bind off, Jen. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. There we go. The end. And I'll just bind off 3 stitches, and I'll be done. And then I'll have to hunt around for my next leaf lace project, because as I wrote in a previous post, I do like leaf lace. There we go. Cut that off, sew in my ends. Yep, upside down. There we go. And that one. All kinds of leaf lace. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it gave you a little more confidence when it comes to working with charts, because that is one handy skill to have. Till next time.